Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to another episode of SeptumSin versus the world. I am SeptumSin, and I am once more joined by our core anime discussion group, which is Brittany /Idono/Danejurous Arts and Kotobuki Jake.
Right.
You need to add some slashes there, Jake. You need to have like several aliases. But this time we are celebrating Brittany's birthday this month. Actually, so I'll play the birthday song.
I just called because I have to say happy birthday on your birthday day. Happy birthday on your birthday day. And there's a special delivery coming right your way. Your favorite.
Well, I don't know how much you like cupcakes, but you know.
Well, I didn't get to see any of that. So on my end, it was completely blank.
Oh, all right. Well, for those who were watching on stream, they probably would have seen Star from Star Wars. Well, you probably heard it, so yeah.
I've heard the book, yeah.
So, but in any case, for this, for birthdays for the core members, which I guess is down to the three of us, we allow a selection for their birthday. So, what is your birthday selection?
So my selection is the 2017 season 1 of Masamune-Kuns Revenge, a romantic comedy about getting revenge on a girl who did you wrong.
All right. Well, I will leave it to you to lead this discussion.
Okay. Well, and I'll start with the one I know who's only done season 1, Jacob. What are your first thoughts on this series?
All right. Well, this was my first time watching this one, and it's one I'd heard about. I cannot recall in what context. I just know that I have heard the title thrown about a few times. It seems like one of those ones that kind of pops a little bit. You know, unlike these titles that they're so popular nowadays that are like 5 sentences long, this one's pretty short and simple. And it has the word revenge, so that's kind of fun. And I had I was interested in watching it. I do not do a lot of viewing right now, other than just whatever various. There are several shows I'm watching with the family, but otherwise not much of my own, and that includes anime. I've not been doing much lately, so it was kind of cool to watch a recent-ish show. I am a little disappointed that I barely had the time to finish this season before showtime tonight, and but I did. I got through season 1, and I look forward to finishing it. I think it ends on a pause that is a decent end for a season. But if I knew there was nothing else coming, I'd be like, the hell. You know? It's at least this isn't another Umineko, you know?
Yeah.
But it's and I think this is based on a manga series, right? So it would have been entirely possible that they would have tried to pull something like that. My understanding is that things wrap up in season 2, so I look forward to seeing how it goes. But as far as this season, my first reaction is mostly positive. I generally like the art style. I generally like the character designs. I think it's not a bad looking show. Mostly the use of music is good, although I'm not a huge fan of the opening theme. And some of the characters are fun. I have a picture up of Kawaii, who Masamune refers to as Shisho, master. And she is your prototypical or stereotypical, in some ways, flat affect, weird, dangerous character that Brandon and Brittany are painfully aware I've always found to be very amusing. And this one is no exception. I like this character. And some of the other characters are pretty fun. But my first impression of both of our leads, Masamune Makabe and Aki Adagaki, my first impression of both of them is these two people suck. I hated them both at the beginning. And although I grew to like them more, especially Adagaki, actually, she really grows on me as the season goes on. Masamune is problematic to the end, and I'm hoping that changes a little bit in season 2. And there are reasons why. It's hard to say in just a quick, brief summation, but I'll just say for now, he was an interesting protagonist, but a frustrating one. And there are also a couple of other characters that, at least in this season, at the very least in this season, feel underused or underserved or weak in various reasons. His guy, and I use the term loosely, friend, Kojiro, I think was the guy.
Kojiro.
He was one that really got short shrifted this season, and I wanted to like him, so I hope that changes in season 2. And the rival who shows up really late in the season shows up too late to make a strong impact in this season. So they'll
make a strong impact almost immediately in the second season. So
right. So there are things they could have done a little better. There are things that, again, I'm hoping season 2 helps. But for season 1, my first impression is, okay, this is pretty fun. I don't hate it. I don't particularly dislike it. I generally like it, and I look forward to eventually finishing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, how did you feel watching this?
Well, I heard about this from you because I don't really. You know what's funny is I'm a member of a lot of these anime groups and so on, but I don't really keep my ear to the street, I guess you could say, about new stuff coming out, and unless people are clamoring about it so loud that I can't help but notice.
Mm-hmm.
And this one did not have that kind of impact. Aki was nobody's waifu. Let me just say that she was not the waifu of the month flavor character. At least I didn't see her as that.
I will say there's one memeable character, and it is not Aki.
So it's looking at that. I'd never heard of it until you had referred it, and I'll admit, if I was just going on the first season, I'd be like, I mean, it's a season about a bunch of rich kids going to a high school, so I can't relate to any of that.
Right.
The two main characters are stuck-up rich kids who are stuck up still in their own ways. Can't really relate to that either. And I'll admit, which is weird. I mean, when I talk about this as a whole, it's a different story, different animal entirely. But when I'm thinking about it, I was like talking with Brittany a little bit beforehand, and it's like, oh, wait, that happened in season 2. That happened in season 2. That okay. So what happened in season 1? Oh yeah, the play.
Right.
So it's like all the questions, everything is kind of left unanswered until season 2. So it feels incomplete. And if I just watched this when it came out and it was just this, and I had to wait 5 years for season 2, I'd have either read the manga or I'd have just written this off as a meh and forgotten about it. As Jake said, the main characters are not really that likable, though I did get to like both characters by the end. I mean, Masamune is really just your standard romantic comedy protagonist, the clueless wonder insert character for the most part. He has a few things that are going for him that make it a little bit better than that, but and at least for this season, other than the revenge motive, he really is a flat character for me. Aki annoyed the hell out of me. I hated her because she was a bully character, and I hate bully characters.
Mm-hmm.
As the series went on, I did like her better, and as the end of the second season, I actually liked her as a character, but it took some time. And I'll admit, I was starting to come around to her a little bit at the end of season 1, but it takes a lot for me to come around for a bully character.
Yeah.
Like I've been told, a lot of people love My Hero Academia. What's the guy, the explosive power guy? Yeah, a lot of people love him. He's like their favorite character. I need to watch, but I've watched it to at least season 3, and I've hated his guts throughout the entirety of it so far. I'm still waiting for it to turn around. I've softened.
I will spoil that one for you. He never turns around.
Oh, so
he's always an asshole.
His motives become clear, and they're somewhat commendable at times, but for the most part, he's still a jerk.
I mean, the fight between him and Deku, that they have, helped me come around to him maybe a millimeter on the level. Yeah. So it takes a while. As far as the rest of the cast, I agree, they're kind of flat, up with the exception of Neko a little bit. But even her, she's so mysterious, it's hard to really,
Yeah,
and she's flat out lies. So I mean, that's what makes it mysterious. She'll tell you a story.
The whole thing about her recovery, that got into something that I wonder if this is resolved in season 2. But it seems like, I know Brittany has gone on about convenient use of issues like amnesia and other medical things, just convenient to the plot. And this really came off that way.
I mean,
she had surgery in this season?
She had surgery in season 1.
Right.
I can go ahead and spoil nothing of note happens with her in the season 2.
Okay, good to know.
You just find out about her past that is true.
You find the truth, but she's kind of like the Joker in that, like, that she prefers her past to be multiple choice.
Right.
So, and
she's a little nicer than he is.
So I guess as a summation is, I look at this, if I'm only to look at it as season 1, it's a basic meh series at best, and I would have been questioning you as to why the hell are we watching this? Now, with season 2, I won't go any further than to say, with season 2, I understand why we're watching this, and I do think it's a worthwhile series to watch. So do not take this, for anybody who might be watching, don't take this as me saying that the series as a whole sucks. It's just leaving it at season 1 sucks. So I am kind of glad that we are going to go ahead and cover season 2, either at the end of August or beginning of September.
So for myself, I got into this as soon as season 2 was starting. This was one of those series that I was watching just to kill some time, and I was like, okay, I'll put this on. It's dub, dub for season 1. Let's watch season 1. Now, when I watched season 1, I was like, how the hell did this series continue 5 years later? Because there was a 5-year gap. Well, part of that 5-year gap is explained by when it was released. It was released in 2020. So COVID took place on part of this.
Never heard of it.
Delay. Yeah, that strange moment that everybody decided to stay indoors for a reason. But this also had an issue where they ended season 1, and if it weren't for the fans of this series in the manga, this series probably would have never succeeded to get a season 2. Because, in my opinion, this was a mid-series that would have flown under the radar of a lot of people as a romance, because most romance usually don't succeed that much. It's a rare we get something like Dress Up Darling did, where it was the top of its season for a romance. You don't really get a romance up the top. Usually you get an action or shonen anime or something like that.
Imagine if this was a fantasy or isekai series. It would have been totally drowned out.
Yeah. But I mean, when I first saw it, I was intrigued by the plot concept of having somebody fall in love over revenge. And this was before I watched Kaguya-sama, which is another series I'd love to get to at some point. But is a much longer series and has similar premise, except for the executions differently. So whereas this series is the main character wants to get revenge because he was insulted by the girl he loves as a child, and it caused him PTSD, essentially sending him into a concept of being very narcissistic and egotistical to lose weight to like an unhealthy degree sense.
Oh, yeah.
But in Kaguya-sama, it's literally the two of them know they love each other, but they're holding out for the other one to say "I love you" first.
Right.
In that series, so it's more they're fighting over who says it first. This series, it's more a matter of trying to get through that revenge, and that's all that season 1 really is about trying to get through the revenge. But you do see a little bit of lightning through it. Overall, I felt the series was good. Now, I went straight into season 2 as it was airing, and I did enjoy season 2 more. I honestly, when I suggested this, I forgot where season 1 ended. I thought there was at least one more reveal at the end of season 1, and there wasn't. Basically, the only reveal we get was Nico's medical issues, where we got the reveal, which we'll get into when we go into the characters. So from here, we'll go on to the plot. I mean, as I said, it's a revenge story turned love comedy thing. Although I do feel it's a little less comedy, more romance.
Right.
Of a series. There is some comedic moments and stupid things. We have our main character, Masamune Makabe, who, as a child, was a fat kid. And didn't have any friends, was kind of like, the only way he was getting friends was being the rich kid that could buy them, buy friendship.
He was a spoiled, stuck-up fat kid and a rich kid.
Yeah.
And, yeah. He was like a rich version of Augustus Gloop.
And in the moment of dealing with some bullies, he comes and meets a young Aki Amadaki. And she is the spoiled rich brat, essentially. Just that kind of concept. That's all we understand from that point of the story. And I'm trying to remember if we even reveal more about her family, and I don't think it does until season 2.
The only thing they reveal about the family in that is
they're rich.
That they're rich. And,
well, I think they introduced. I think her father, if I understood correctly, is the one who reads the letter that the rival kid brings about the betrothal.
Yeah.
And like he's completely thrown aback and shocked, but that's the only scene he's in the whole season. So it's like,
well, yeah. You'll see him briefly in season 2 too.
Right.
Same with her mother. I will spoil it. They're divorced. Her parents are divorced.
Well, no wonder, because we also meet the secretary.
Yes. In the case of Aki, in case of this whole incident, Aki seemed to be very warm and loving towards Masamune. Masamune comes one night to professes love with the bullies around, trying to prove that this girl has feelings for him. And all of a sudden, the girl appears in the window and calls him a pig's foot, basically insulting his weight and driving him into shock that the girl he thought was in love with him was actually insulting him for his weight, and he went into self-consciousness and went to live with his grandfather to train to become what he is from when we meet him in the series, which is this skinny, muscle-bound meathead of a idiot who has this deep-seated revenge plot to the point that he's been reading love manga or romance manga and pulling out little plots throughout and being like, oh, this is how I get a girl. This is how. And his intention was to become the hottest guy, go in here, make the girl fall in love with him, and dump her.
His mother is...
Yes, I meant to mention that was one of the most unsettling parts of this season.
When I said there was a memeable character, it's his mother. There's a meme out there.
Cringe in all degrees.
There's a meme out there about her being. Whenever they use the reference of, oh no, this is an adult, and they'll show like a fully grown and adult-looking woman, and she or teenager or whatnot, and they say this is an adult, and they show her. She's always used as the reference because she's the lowly hag, as he calls her.
Yeah, it's even weirder because she is in almost every way the annoying little sister character, but he has an annoying little sister who looks appropriately aged and everything, and it's like So, and I will say, in a different show, I wouldn't mind it.
I'm trying to remember if they explain the first, because she does explain the first date she had with his father.
Not in this season.
Okay. So, I mean, it's not really a big spoiler, but
the thing
they go on a dinner place, and they think she's the kid, so they bring her the kids menu.
So basically, so she's like Popora from Working. Only she's even more Chibiform in this one, and that's the thing. Like, if this was a different show, even one like Working, it probably could have worked. But the way this show dabbles in much more serious stuff, and the way it mostly presents itself more as a serio-comic romance, a character who is entirely Chibiform seems very out of place.
Well, not Chibiform. She's petite. She's meant to be childlike.
The way she's illustrated is like, if they went for a more realistic, she's just petite, they could have done that in a way that didn't seem as jarring. It's like I said, with the way the show is presented, it seems jarring.
So to me, I've always been kind of on the fence about how I feel about these little girl characters who are actually of age, because to me that just feels dirty to me. It feels kind of like, yeah. But now at the same time, I'm like, you know what? It's anime. I'm just going to choose to not touch it with a 10-foot pole and move on.
It is disturbing in that sense, but I mean, again, petite women exist.
And
it's not like
that. When you draw a manga or you draw an anime, you go with the absurdity. You need the absurdity. So making her, very much look like the younger sister, even though she's a full-grown adult, it's the joke, but at the same time, it is very, why is this situation? And I don't think you ever see Masamune's father,
right?
In the series,
and I
think
think
grandfather you get to see, which is
you do get to see his grandfather. But
this was also kind of one of the issues that I had with Kojiro, was there was the joke of everyone thinks he's a girl, and like they even cast him to play Snow White. And the guy, yes, the way he's illustrated, he looks like a girl, and he's voiced by a girl, and everything about, and it's like
only in the sub is he voiced by a girl. He is voiced by a male, and
definitely in the sub it is clearly a female. And of course I watched the sub. Maybe one day I'll watch the dub. I don't know. But and again, more power to them. I just feel like in this particular season, with the amount of screen time the character gets and the overall serial comic premise of the whole thing, it feels like I don't know if it fits the show you're making here.
One of the more interesting arcs that I find in the series is an arc that involves his character. But I think, Brittany, when you were talking about an unresolved story, I'm guessing you were talking about his arc.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing that strikes me as odd is that I thought that character was going to be LGBTQ of some sort, but no.
No.
Well, I mean, we do get scenes throughout the season. It's kind of jumping because we need to get back to the main three here. But with his character, you do have the class president keeps wanting on the beach trips, which happens in the OVA. You also have a moment where you meet Masamune's aunt and cousin, who look exactly like his mom, except his aunt is like the adult version of his mom.
Oh,
so like fully grown adult, but she still can pull off the look.
For those who want to know and haven't seen it, the one with the crepe at the end is his friend. Of the background picture.
The one, yeah.
You have a background? I didn't see the background picture.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's meant to be that showed up boy concept in the series with Kajiro. But going back to the main characters, so we have Aki, who is the rich, spoiled rich girl, and her servant, Yoshino Kowai.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they're kind of hand in hand. You kind of got to have one and the other because they're almost always together.
Mm-hmm.
Aki's more, she's become more of a man-hater in her teen years. Mm-hmm. Sort of tasting off guys and giving them, crude names. And basically trying to be, this better than she should be type perfect, child.
Of course, we eventually come to realize that she's been kind of goaded, pushed, enabled into this by various other people. There's the island episode where we find out that the secretary's been grooming her to be a man-hater.
Yes.
And we also have the trio of friends she has that are trying to preserve her purity.
Mitsuno, Sanaka, and Kaiba.
Right.
All of them are her friends.
Right.
That basically want her never to date a guy and wants to be the pinnacle of the man-hating woman.
Did they introduce the friends? Actually, no, they did. They
introduce them right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because they were right at the
they're
play.
introduced at the beginning, and they're reintroduced more strongly at the end of the season.
In the play.
And
So, because they play an integral part in the play issues. Now, Aki has this one big secret of hers that she's developed an eating habit out of stress that makes her eat a lot. And I mean a lot of food.
Right.
They both have eating disorders. And just as from a mental health perspective, our main character Masamune actually has a form of anorexia, which is a lot of people think anorexia is just simply you don't eat at all, but no, it can actually be that obsessive exercising, calorie counting craziness.
To be fair, everything his mom cooks, it would be a problem.
Right.
She's a feeder, which is worse.
And he looks at horror. It's like every time she makes dinner, he's like, "What? So many calories,"
because everything's deep fried and covered
Which
in.
I'll admit, right now with my sodium issues, I sometimes do have those kind of moments myself. But
you have high sodium, because I have the opposite.
I have to avoid it as much as I can, which I'm not very good at. But yeah, there is that scene. Like, he keeps going on about how much muscle he has and how fit he is. But there's that scene later where, again, we were talking about the three girls taking a bigger role in the play.
Yeah.
He is kidnapped from the nurse's office because he has the flu. And Kikune is the sporty one of the three. She's the one who carries him. And she is sporty. She's strong. But she's like, you're so light. It was too easy for me to carry you. Yeah. And he's like, is she seriously attacking my muscles right now? And it's like, well, yeah, I was thinking, like, yeah, dude,
he's muscular, but he's slender muscular.
Yeah, he's very
Bruce Lee style muscular, where it's
he's like wiry.
Yeah.
I mean, now her eating disorder is entirely different,
right?
Though oddly enough, her metabolism seems to be able to keep up with it very well.
I would love to have her freaking metabolism any day of the freaking week.
It must be an insane metabolism.
To me, it doesn't seem like because she gets like literally sick if she doesn't eat.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether there's a mental health component or a physical component, because
I can say, as someone who has to eat multiple meals throughout the day because I get sick with stomach issues.
Yeah.
It's hard on me just to eat multiple meals. I cannot imagine doing what she does.
Right.
It would drive me insane. And I mean, I'm talking about like small meals for me, but I mean, she's eating like full on, like 5 lunches in a sitting and then having a snack about an hour later.
Right. And what's more is she does not want anyone else to know, so she has to do it in private. And whenever she's out with the friends or with it, it's very like awkward.
She's got to hide it.
Yeah.
I will say this. Yoshino, I rarely agree with Jacob on these, because a lot of those characters tend to annoy me, but not in this case. Oddly enough, Yoshino is probably the best girl in my opinion, and that was before season 2. I actually liked her, not from the start, but once they gave a little bit of background on her, and it wasn't just a one note, and she wasn't just playing the flat affect to just screw with people.
She wasn't literally being used or strapped to a rocket to be launched in space.
Well, it was kind of a fun little reveal on her early on, because at first she looks like the put upon slave, basically, but then she figures out Masamune's angle right away, and reveals herself to him. And it's like, wow, this is a completely different person. And he feels that. He's in awe, and he starts calling her master.
And unlike a lot of those characters that they present in these series, she actually does have emotions, and she actually does express them. She's just good at hiding them. And that really differentiates her from a lot of those characters like Ichijo.
Now a lot of that, though, doesn't occur until next season.
That's true, but a little bit.
A little bit.
You see flashes.
You see flashes of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is a hired servant of the Anedakis, and has been raised alongside Aki. She's a little older than Aki by, I think, 6 months or so. But she is stupid. Let's put it that way, because she does not do schoolwork at all. But she is pretty much the gopher for Aki at the beginning of the series, and pretty much for most of the series.
From what I've seen, I don't know if I'd say stupid. Might not have book smarts. She's definitely clever.
She's clever in people.
She's very sharp when it comes to people.
Not in subjects.
Yeah.
That sense of stupidity.
Yeah.
So she realizes how to read people, and that's how she finds Masamune from the get-go, because she's like, oh, I know who you are.
Mhm.
And so you have this sort of trio of these three having been around in childhood, but not only these three. So, I mean, we've talked a little bit about Neko. She is a sickly Christian-born Catholic schoolgirl type, and I think it is Catholic schoolgirl. I don't know with the sub if it was referenced as Catholic.
I
But
don't think it
it is in the dub.
was. I don't think it was, and I feel like the religion angle was downplayed quite a bit after her introduction. It was strong in her introduction.
Yeah, well, I mean that's how she was introduced.
It's too bad they didn't run with it like they did in Ghost Stories.
Yeah. But I mean, she comes out of it. She's a health nut in a sense of when we first meet her.
Yeah.
But eventually we find out she is sick.
Mhm.
Which we get an ironic scene, which I still hold to as funny, of her being like, "Oh no, I just ate ketchup."
Yeah.
The whole spitting up plot.
Yeah.
The issue with her character is that she can't be trusted. So whatever she tells you, it's almost impossible to say is the truth. And even so much of her character is fake. To where she's basically play acting as other characters, and to a point where it is detrimental to her, because the real her, even she doesn't truly understand who the real her is.
Right.
Essentially, every cast member has an issue,
Yes.
mental health issue of sorts.
Shoot, even the class rep has her own like anxiety disorder.
She has anxiety. I agree with you. She'd have anxiety. Gasaro has identity.
Yeah.
Neko has, of course, compulsive lying.
I would also say the class rep had an issue with some control issues. The whole thing with the play, she apparently was.
She's very trying to be strict in control. Yeah,
she strikes me, if they were to do a background on her, which they really didn't do much. She strikes me as that one character that's not from a rich family that got into the school on scholarship through her hard work and constant effort, and it just stuck with her. Of course, I'm making up my own backstory for her.
I mean, it's perfectly fine.
But actually, my favorite characters in the series are characters that don't come from rich backgrounds. So I guess that's maybe it's because maybe it's the anti-rich person vibe I've got. But no, it's actually more because of the characters themselves. But
I mean, the only one I can't think of a mental disorder for of the students is Kojiro, because it's not like he's asking to be girly.
Yeah. Well, he definitely does have image issues and anxiety issues. Like when they cast him as Snow White, he was very uncomfortable about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, he wants to be identified as a masculine guy, but he's not. So
he also has a high metabolism.
Oh God, yes, he's always eating sweets. Always eating sweets in the series.
Yeah,
man, I want those metabolisms of those.
I know, man. I know.
And I mean, I can't really say with the other girls. I mean, maybe we could talk with Kikito Kuni. She had an issue with a little bit with her being told, I'd say the lie that Masamune says to try and get her out of the room.
Right.
But I think I mean we really don't delve deep enough in those three.
Right. Yeah. Mari definitely has control issues.
and I can say, Jacob, that there's only two other characters in the full series that you haven't met.
Okay.
That's it. Just two other characters, and they're minor characters.
I'm guessing
brother and sister characters. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they have to go to France for that, which is that next.
Oh, which characters are you talking about?
They're French. You haven't met them yet.
Okay, so you guys mentioned it.
The characters are Muriel and Frank.
Okay, yeah. So
they're entertaining, but they could have used some more fleshing out themselves.
Yeah,
but I will say, as far as fleshing out is concerned, most of the characters get an okay fleshing out, with the exception of the class rep, who only gets a minor bit, and our main character, really, yeah, they give him a background, but he's still that self-insert character, who, at the end of the day, he is the good guy. He has his flaws, which I'll give him that. More than a lot of self-insert characters, he does have some
he's
very
loaded with flaws.
flaws, but a lot of that is due to the crap that he had to go through.
Yeah.
And but at his very base, he wants to do the right thing.
Right.
He doesn't always do the right thing, so I'll give him that as a character. But I feel like he got out of the main characters, he got the least amount of character development, because it was sort of like, here's the background. As far as personality,
So,
but again, you gotta have a little bit of a blank one if you're gonna self.
One thing I will say that we haven't really mentioned is Yoshino. She's got ninja technique abilities, which basically the way she introduces herself and notifies Masamune that she knows who he is. She literally ensnares him in a trap,
and she doesn't. And of course, Aki doesn't even know who Masamune is, or even seem to remember labeling him as Pig's Foot.
Yep.
Right. Well, she remembers the kid, and by the end of the season, you figure out that she actually this is the impression I've got.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear this.
Well, as I'm seeing it now, it seems like she remembers the kid, and she regrets the way things went. She doesn't know why they went that way. And I think when I keep calling him the rival, but I guess he does have a name, Gassel.
Yeah.
Gassel, or Kanatsugu. I don't know what the best term should be.
Kanatsugu is the family name.
Yeah.
Gatso is the main character.
So when Gassel shows up, she mistakes him for the other kid, and I think he rolls with it. He has reasons of his own, but he rolls with it. That's the impression I have right now. And it's like, and there's also the impression that it is kind of funny that the main character is so convinced he was dumped because he was fat. And he is so obsessed with being as fit as possible. And she seems to like him a little plump.
Yep. All right. I want, because Brandon, you can't do this. I can't do this. Jacob, I want you to give us your concept of where this show goes forward from this point.
Where it goes?
Yes.
Well, I know it goes to France.
Well, not individually, but like, what reveals do you believe will happen?
Okay, so as it sits right now, obviously the core plot focuses on those two, on Aki and Masamune.
Yep.
And he is still going on about his revenge. He is still going on about it. But he keeps having things thrown in his way that cause him to doubt. He keeps doubting the path he should be on. So, and of course, he's got Neko there as well, who's made it very clear that she would go for him in a minute if he gave her the chance. And he kind of wants to, because they really are almost perfect for each other. But he is so obsessed with his revenge with Aki. But this being the kind of show I would expect the two of them to end up falling for each other. That's how you would expect this kind of show to play out. Who knows what'll happen in the meantime? I know that Kojiro has the hots for Neko. He probably doesn't have a shot in hell of ending up with her, but I know that is the thing. And I know that Gassel, again, he has his reasons why he really, really, really wants to make it work with Aki. But I don't know. I don't know where that's going to end up going, to be honest.
Here's what I want to do, because we're going to be watching this afterward. You're going to be watching the next season afterwards.
Right.
Let's have you go through the couples. Tell me where you think they're going to end up, or with who, or who, each character. See who they end up with what, and what happens, to develop it. That's how we're going to do it. So Masamune and Aki, do they get together?
I would think more likely than not.
Okay. Masamune and Yoshino.
A long shot, but I could see it happening.
And then you kind of hinted that you saw that Neko could possibly be one earlier.
Yes, she would be the most likely second choice. Yes.
Aki and Gasso.
A possibility, but it would be equivalent to Masamune and Neko, I think.
Okay, what do you think Gasso is hiding?
What do I think I know he's hiding the fact from them that he's poor. They've already mentioned that.
Yeah.
So I know that he's hiding a lot about his background. I know he's pretending to be this person Aki thinks he is. Yeah. So he's hiding that from her. He knows he's not the person she thinks he is.
What do you think his reasoning is for hiding it?
Other than the fact that he's trying to get his family back on track financially?
I mean, that could be a very good reasoning if you want to make that the sole reason.
He also seems to genuinely be attracted to her. Okay. And he does seem, again, he doesn't get enough of an introduction for me to fully have a bead on his character.
Yeah.
But he seems like someone who wants to make other people happy. At least that's the foot he put forward. And I think Masamune himself actually made that observation, that seems to get along with everybody. Okay. So it could be that he is trying to be who she wants him to be.
What do you think is the truth about Neko? Because you do see one thing in the season with Neko. You do see she does have a photo of her and Masamune.
Yes, they do actually have a.
What do you think that's past is?
You guys have already hinted there's not many more reveals, so it's probably nothing significant. But I would say maybe it was one of those childhood friend things where she remembered and he didn't. And obviously they are families that are acquainted with each other. They travel in some of the same circles, apparently. Beyond that, I'm not really sure.
Okay. Now we told you Aki's family's divorced.
Yeah.
What is the reason for eating problem?
That I'm not entirely sure of. Unless if it is psychological, as Brandon hinted, it could be partly stress eating from family drama, and it could be partly guilt over having what happened with her friend. That
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last one. This is the big one.
Okay.
Was that Aki really in the window?
Was it her in the window?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it's entirely possible that it wouldn't have been, but nothing yet has been presented to make that likely that it's otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to get that laid down. Brandon, okay. you probably are with me. You kind of know which ones are true and what Jacob got and whatnot. I want to revisit that next time we do this.
Okay.
To go over how you answered and to see your reaction after.
Okay. You know, I'm not going to remember shit about what I said, but
we got it. We got it on tape.
But actually, so going back into the plot.
Okay.
As far as significant plot points, the only major story plot point that we get, other than a slight softening towards the end at the play when we see Masamune actually showing that he's not quite as evil a person as he comes across, for the fact that he was willing to say, you know what, I'm willing to lose because it's wrong to have these people who work so hard get this. And that showed he's not quite a terrible person at the end.
Not to mention that he was literally about to fall over from fever and he still went on.
Yeah, so
it's like,
but the Neko storyline, for the most part, concludes with a few like asides at the end that kind of flesh it out just a tad.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting, especially seeing as we were talking about F earlier in the year, how she chose to do her thing when she disappeared. That whole like tearing all of the stuff out and throwing it to the wind.
Yeah, the notebook tearing at the end.
Yeah. So just to kind of like hit me like, oh, we're revisiting that, but that's just the way she is, because she gets she's a character that she has created through reading mangas and so on.
Right.
I mean, it is an interesting sort of reflection, because she's not the only one that reads the manga, romance manga. It's also Masamune, out of all the characters, that is deeply in those romance.
Which is how he figured out where she was.
Well, and the one I was going to say, the one that she was copying was one that she picked up because he had mentioned it,
she found it in his room.
In his room, yeah.
Yeah.
And then and that was that was interesting.
Dude, I mean, you get an entire scene where she tries to seduce him at one point in her apartment.
Right.
And essentially, season 1 is 4 different stories. One is the re-meeting of the two characters. So when Masamune and Aki meet. Mm-hmm. The next arc would be the beach.
Right.
Which is one of the more silly things, and I kind of agree with you. The secretary is an interesting character. I wish there was more about her. She does make a reappearance, but it's about like very minimal.
Right.
In the series.
I liked how she was trying to scare them, and Masamune had conspired with his master, and she
did a great job.
Everybody was trying to scare everybody else and scared everybody else at the same time.
Right.
In appropriate costumes. We get Jason Voorhees, we get the Ring.
Face. And
it's by far probably my favorite episode out of them is the beach episode where they're trying to scare each other.
Right.
I mean, one of my original favorites was the date scene in there where they're going on the date, and Yoshino, because at first the way you look at it looks like, and this I don't think is any spoilers, because at first you think that Yoshino is looking for revenge, not much different than Masamune at the beginning, and the date scene almost seems to go that, because she's like, oh, everybody cosplays on the first day.
Yeah.
Everybody cosplays on the first day. Yeah, everybody knows that.
She set her up.
Like I said with Yoshino, what we know about Yoshino's past with Aki is literally a Looney Tunes Roadrunner cartoon.
Right.
Yeah.
She makes it sound like, and again, you can take it with a grain of salt. That was how I took it, but like, she makes it sound like she has been at the whim of this spoiled, demanding girl to do all kinds of crazy shit. And like you said, a lot of it Looney Tunes-esque, that whole rocket thing, definitely. Oh yeah. It was because it was when they all got roped by Masamune's mother into coming to visit all at once. And or rather it was Neko and Yoshino got roped into a family dinner. And the sister afterwards is like, let's do fireworks, and gets all hyped up about it. And Yoshino hangs back, and Masamune's like, "You're not into fireworks?" No. So she
still has burn marks on the back of her body.
Yeah, that was interesting. And you do get those little moments, like I mentioned before. Some of the more cartoony elements sometimes seem jarring in this series, but sometimes they can be a great bit of humor too. Like the karaoke battle at the end, where Masamune goes, and Yoshino of all people is calling up the front desk, "We need help."
You get this wonderful concept of this karaoke contest where everybody's singing, great and great. Masamune's never sung on it once.
Yeah.
And he goes on it, and all we do is get that cutscene just immediately with a call for help.
Yes.
And then everybody's just almost keeled over, and he's like, "Yeah."
Right. Well, and right before that, we had the thing where Aki and Neko end up singing an impromptu duet and nailing it.
Yeah. But that's because the two actresses did play the the opening song. Yes.
Oh, okay. Huh. But but they played it as like, and of course they parted afterwards, like still sparring. But that was kind of fun. But
so we had the beach, and then we had the play. The play being both classes want to do Snow White,
right?
Which hats off that they didn't go with Romeo and Juliet. So many anime go with Romeo and Juliet.
Right.
It's either Romeo and Juliet, Cinderella, or Snow White. I'll give it them. Snow White's a little bit more enjoyable. It is a little kiddie. But I do love that Yashino, in her effort to try and prevent Gasso, kidnaps him as she's dressed as the witch, and then comes back dressed as a dwarf.
Right.
That one, I will say, that was the introduction to Aki's protectors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
all three of them annoy the hell out of me.
Rightfully so. They're the catty bitches.
Actually, it's kind of funny because earlier you were talking about like romance shows that oftentimes get left hanging. Mm-hmm. One of the most famous, perhaps infamous ones in anime was the original run of Fruits Basket, which of course eventually got its second chance at glory. I'm actually making another attempt to try and read the manga, and I've gotten about to the point I got to before. So I'm looking forward to getting further into the story, which where I got before is about where the first anime ends. But one of the ones I just read was one of my favorite moments in the anime and the manga, because I love Hanajima. And I love the part where the Yuki Protection Club or Yuki Fan Club goes to Hanajima's house in an attempt to find her weakness and end up running screaming, horrified and scarred for life because they think her brother is placing a curse on them. And I just love that episode. But those girls did remind me a lot of the Yuki Fan Club in many ways. They were.
They are similar, although there was 4 in Fruits Basket, because there's one older one that graduates before the others.
Right.
But they very much are alike. Very much like that group. The concept of fangirl groupings. I have a fangirl grouping in my own series, so it's not unheard of.
These three at least were more distinct personality wise. Like they are a little different. And
usually you want, if you're gonna do them, you want to have like the smart one, the sporty one, the In this case, they had the cutesy one.
The cutesy weird one.
I mean, yeah, and Fruits Basket, they didn't have much of a personality for that grouping. I know my group, it's the nerdy one that is into fan magazines of people she knows. The more cool, laid back one, the fat one, and the spoiled rich girl. So it's the way it's usually set up, kind of and it makes sense to have them, but at the same time, it's weird considering the rest of the school, as in any of the girls, are in love of Masabe, with the exception of Aki.
Mm-hmm.
From the get-go, and he's getting confessions throughout the thing from other girls, and he's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is interesting because I mean, the first one that they show is the class rep where she shoots her shot with them.
Yeah,
which to me was my favorite girl at the beginning. I still have, even though she's not very developed, I do still like the character.
Yeah, usually, unfortunately, anime, if they're the class rep or the best friend, usually they don't get it.
Right.
Best friend / childhood friend. Usually they don't get it. They're rare occasions, but
I feel like she's got a few layers to her more than you might expect. But yeah, in terms of backstory and what have you, in the first season,
she doesn't get a backstory.
She doesn't get much.
No. Shuffle is one that does an interesting take on the childhood best friend and how it ends up. And I mean, one of these days I have to revisit that, because I remember looking at the ending of that and going, this is standard, until I got to the ending and I'm going, what the hell happening at the end? But still, I
mean, we've talked about a couple of series that sometimes gets the childhood best friend I know of. I mean, we talked last year for my choice. We did the Your Lie in April. And that was a case of the best friend almost getting there. We kind of get left on a hanger on if she will or not pursue after all that went on. But yeah.
Right.
But in this series, it's more lighthearted, even though it's got some pretty sorrowful moments. And again, part of the reason I felt I really loved this series is because you are dealing with kids that clearly have mental problems. Mm-hmm. But they're like, oh, I'm going to live with, it's nothing. It's nothing. And I mean, to see a main character that's a narcissist is a unique main character, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of narcissists.
Oh no, most people aren't. But I mean, I do feel they play in this series. They play it well in a way where it's not meant to be a good side to him.
I've seen. I do like. One of the reasons I have an issue with trying to decide how much I like Masamune or not is I do not like the side of him that's a narcissist. I like that it's undercut by the fact that he's so dense and completely naive when it comes to people.
Yeah.
I do think that he does have some good to him, and he really looks out for the people he cares for, or tries to, in his own way. And he is tempted to go with Nico. He is tempted to abandon his plan from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it just makes him look indecisive and wishy-washy, which, combined with being a narcissist and being dense, I don't know. I can't decide if I think it makes him more relatable and likable, or if it makes him more of a why is this the main guy kind of character? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where to place him.
I mean, I do feel he's meant to be an abrasive main character, not to be well loved because of his nature.
Right.
And Aki's meant to be sort of that agitated element to her
As a comparison,
as a comparison.
completely different story, plot, everything. But in the other channel, the movies Galore, we just finished spending a month talking about The Godfather.
Yeah.
And Michael Corleone is not a likable character.
Yeah.
But he is a compelling character.
Yes.
He is a compelling character. And this guy comes nowhere close to that level of, So you can have a character who's thoroughly unlikable. Even narcissistic, like Light Yagami is one of the biggest narcissists in all of anime.
Oh, absolutely. He dies narcissistic. He dies narcissist.
Exactly. But he is a compelling character. You want to know what he's going to do next.
Well,
And
Death Note definitely kind of the setup is you want to see his downfall.
Well, yeah.
That's what it comes to.
You do.
I do feel what happens in this season, this season, that while I do feel like if it was just this season and only this season,
right,
the series wouldn't be good, but it does something right, and that is teeing up the characters to where they need to be for the results of season 2.
I'm curious to see what the next discussion will be like. I probably will be having a very different look.
I'd be curious to see what your thoughts on Masamune is at the end of the series. Right. But yeah, it's sort of like how I felt about Aki, especially at this point, because I have such a strong aversion to bullies.
Right.
And everything, and like I said, the way that they presented at the end is it doesn't quite make sense that she would have a hang up on somebody that she just basically said, screw you, I want nothing to do with you. Because in the first series, it seems like her view of things seems very different than his view of things.
Yeah.
Right.
But at the same time, it does, she's very abrasive. So it takes, but then again, I've had to deal with a lot of female bullies in my time. And so it does. So maybe it's a lot harder for me to like characters like that.
See. Right. I am curious because with what else was out in 2017 when this series came out, because you kind of brought it up, that this was not a waifu character. Aki was not a waifu.
Oh God, no.
If anybody was a waifu in at least the first season, it was Yoshino.
Or Neko. I could see Neko being
yeah.
So
Made in Abyss released in 2017. That overshadowed. Okay,
that definitely overshadowed it. So yeah.
Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Yeah.
That overshadowed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Konosuba.
So yeah. Your waifu at that time was Toro from Maid or Dragon Maid. So
yeah, it still is. I think the whole Dragon Maid thing has not gone away.
It's not, but more people were. The more disturbing element was they were after more of Kano and Dragon Maid, and that's the little kid one. Dragon Maid fun.
Yeah.
But it is disturbing at times.
It is let's just say I enjoy. I've not actually seen much of the show, but I've read a lot of the manga and I enjoy it. It's a fun manga. But there's a local library system where it was filed in YA, and I will admit I'm very happy they changed it to adult, because there's some adult stuff in there.
Well, see, Jacob, you know more about that than with Chesterfield. So I'm the county over in Henrico. I can tell you right now, in Henrico, what they put in YA, for me, amazes me. One, they put a bunch of the X-Men, like really brutal stories, in there. But they also put in a few stories that I was like, how is this in YA?
Yeah. It's a constant debate. And it's like, and for one thing, manga typically their audience is different from our audience.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of series that are YA series. And I want to say Dragon Maid might be one of them. But in this climate, it's different. And like our library system, I still am deeply puzzled. And my theory is it's because of the sexy no jutsu.
Yeah.
Naruto is an adult.
Yeah.
But Fairy Tail, One Piece, even Bleach are in the YA. And I'm like, Naruto is no worse than Bleach. No worse than Bleach at all. And then they have Spy Family in the adult section. And I'm like, why? Why?
Well, I mean, I have to say, as a huge One Piece fan, for it to be in YA, for those who've not read the manga, you have to go with read the manga.
Right.
You don't know the violence.
It's violent, yeah.
Just Whitebeard's face alone at the end of the major war. The dude was missing half his face.
Right.
And it was showing that way. And the anime, it was just half his mustache.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for some people, that's bad enough. You know, that's an impressive mustache.
I mean, it was an impressive mustache.
I know
it was so impressive it became a beard in context.
I mean, I know for a fact in one Henrico library, they actually filed Ranma's manga in the teens.
Yes, they did.
Which I don't understand that, because there's a lot of topless shots. I guess it's that idea that comic books are for kids, so they must all be for kids.
That is supposed to be a teen comic, but again, we just have different standards here. You know,
I don't recall with Henrico if I saw Vinland Saga in the teens, and when we talk about not for children. I have, some of Vinland Saga. I have some of Berserk, in leather-bound books because they're pinnacle of manga. Those are not at all appropriate. They're not appropriate for some adults.
So
now we have Death Note filed with the adults, but sometimes it winds up in the teen section. I've seen this, and then like. The other day, this, I don't blame it on anyone who works for the library. I think this must have been a patron. I hope it was a patron or a volunteer who didn't know better. But
it's either a volunteer. My guess is even a parent. A parent might be like, "Oh, you're reading this comic book. I'm gonna take it and put it in the YA."
But this should not have been a parent. If it was, it's bad parenting.
Yeah.
I found Robert Kirkland's The Walking Dead in the juvenile graphic novels.
Oh, actually, you want to know one that's still funny to me is this is from a long time ago. It was rare to see anime in the 90s as a child, especially in the library. But they used to have videotapes, and guess what movie was filed under children's animation?
Akira?
Ninja Scroll.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. Children's animation, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, yep.
For kids. But yeah, it is an eternal peeve of mine. I'm trying to find the humor in it more than be peeved by it.
I do find it amusing to talk about. I mean, this is current event here with the Visa and MasterCard censorship with going on with the games, and it's also hinted to do with anime and manga as well.
Yeah.
I do find it amusing that American censorship is way different than other parts of the world. People think, Japan, well, they go about and have nude shot characters throughout children's shows. It's not just Japan. France has done that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
England has done that kind of stuff. It's not unheard of for the sex. The violence is usually what's toned down in other countries.
It's about how we were established as a nation. We were established by Puritans,
right,
who left their country because they were being persecuted for being too over the top religious.
Now, I agree with you there on America, but then explain to me Australia.
Australia is an oddball. But yeah, as far as us, it's because of those puritanical roots that we're okay with violence, because the Puritans are very much okay with violence.
Right.
It was the sex stuff. No, her knee is showing. We need to cover that up.
Right.
So that concept is why we're different from the rest. And Australia, well,
I do. The reason I kind of wanted to go in that a little bit, because Jacob, you'll see it when you get back into the series.
Yeah.
You're very much going to feel this when they go to France, because there's going to be a moment of cultural differences, and they will address the cultural differences between Japan and France. In their case, it's going to be about public showing of affection. So
going to be scandalized by the French PDAs.
Well, let's just say that they're going to be like freaking out that what the French want them to do and what the French openly do that Japan does not accept.
Okay. So, could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The characters, the brother and sister that they introduce are very short-lived and not very well defined, but they're more comedic stand-ins.
I don't remember. Did they ever explain why Muriel has a eye patch?
No.
I didn't think so.
All right. Good times. Good times.
Yep. But I mean, overall, I think we kind of hit the plots. We hit the characters, which is the main thing to do. And we even got Jacob's, views of what he think may happen.
Yes.
So we can come back and address those next time.
Probably.
So I guess production.
Yeah. So production.
Well, look fine to me.
Like I said, I generally thought the character designs were appealing. I think that they, I don't know about those weird little white blobs in Yoshino's hair. I
Those
guess
are eyebrows, I guess, or something. I guess
I was thinking hair clips of some sort.
They are hair clips. They are hair clips.
They're just kind of odd. But other than that, I didn't notice any major issues with animation, although I think there were some scenes where there were like some static shots here and there. Other than that, I didn't see any major issues.
This was pretty much a well-polished series. I'm trying to see who did the series real quick here. Let's see.
Okay.
At least the characters were distinguishable from
for the most part, they were very distinctive visually. Let's see.
So
Overlink, I guess, is one of the big ones. Let's see.
Going to Mal to get this information. Okay, so Mal says this was done by Silverlink. Yeah, was the studio.
Right.
But that's for the manga, though, I think.
Well, this says animation production on ANN.
Okay.
And it also says for background art, it's got Silverlink AAA, Atelier Plots. Mostly ones I'm not as familiar with, apparently.
Kuroko Connect's a pretty good one, but it's weird. I mean, you should be familiar with Baka no Test. We've watched that.
Yeah,
we haven't done it on the stream, but we've watched it.
The other ones they've done.
Yeah, I'm looking at other productions they did. I mean, a lot of romance anime. I'll say that. Some with more serious, some with not so serious. But the studio does pretty decently with what they do, because they're not going into the action like Mappa or some of the other companies that will be more famous. But I'm trying to see what probably would be their most intense action or something else.
Second key animation on Attack on Titan.
Well, I mean, that would have been some heavy action there.
Let's see. I need to see Bloom Into You. I've heard good things.
Bloom Into You is okay.
There's a few of these that
I've seen a lot of Baka no Test that I have not seen before. I guess there's more to Baka no Test than I remember.
Okay, so they did second key animation in between and whatnot on some of the episodes of Bunny Drop.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, I mean, they did the Fate offshoot series that aren't action.
Okay.
So they're more of the romance. They did Takana-kun, the lazy. I honestly, Brandon, that is Unko 100%. That anime is Unko for you, 100%.
Oh, Dusk Maiden of Amnesia. That's one I've seen. That's a good show.
They're decent anime. I think notably outside of Baka no Test. Out of like what really is astonishing of their work would probably be Kuroko Connect, and the only reason Kuroko Connect is it's a weird plot and premise, but it's not wholly romanceable.
That is one I've been wanting.
They did also did the All Flags. I became the villainess where she became All Flags, so they are the start of the villainous story isekai concept with anime.
Okay.
So, very common trope these days, unfortunately. Very, very common.
Second key animation on a lot of shows I've seen, but the main animation, not as many.
I will say the one I watched this season of theirs, which was the Dosono Gal wa Namare Meke, which is basically Hokkaido girls are easy or whatever. Pretty good series, artistic wise. It looked amazing artistically wise, but the story wasn't as great to memorable on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, it definitely looks like the most of their work is in romance.
I need to see Non Non Biori. That's a good one, from what I hear.
Yeah, a lot of those I have.
Yeah,
but it's all about what I have seen. Like I've got 91 Days.
Now,
Brandon, wasn't Oniya your favorite one?
God, fuck that series.
That's one they did.
Now, as far as I, as an artist watching it, I didn't really see anything that really stood out as bad animation.
Okay.
So I mean, I feel the animation was clean, the production was clean, and I would say normally the hiatus was money related, but it wasn't. So the hiatus between seasons was a combination of the vid and just poor timing and trying to get enough interest in the series. So that's the reason why we had a 5-year gap. It's weird because most series, if it makes it beyond the 5-year gap, do not get a sequel.
Right.
So I think it's a good liner to kind of put there and say 5-year is the limit, because after 5 years, people are going to start forgetting about that series. So, music. I mean, Jacob, you said you didn't really care for the opening.
I wasn't blown away by it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't something that I was blown away by. I rather like the ender. And most of the in between music, I thought it was pretty good. Nothing jumped out.
Brandon, what about you? I'll let you say either or or say it season 2s as well if you want.
Well, as one advantage to having seen this series a couple of weeks ago is that it can tell me if the music sticks with me, because that's usually a key as to whether I'm like, yay or nay. And no, I can't recall any of the music. So that tells me that, but I didn't hate the music because I'd also be able to recall it. So
yeah.
I'd say it was meh.
I'm kind of the same way as Brandon. I do remember not hating the songs. There wasn't anything. There wasn't a moment of the karaoke scene for me coming into the music. So we just get to see the scene, but not the music. Yeah, I mean, it's there. It's okay. It's not something I would go out and buy the DVD or music of.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's nothing out of place. I do feel. I watched the dub. I know you guys watch the subs. What about the acting? Do you guys feel any of the actors kind of yay or nay in your opinion?
Good. Incidentally, I should note, I think, Brittany, I think you already said that the actress behind Aki actually has done singing in the past. She does sing the opening theme.
Yeah.
Ayako Hashi. I thought the acting in the sub was pretty good. It was pretty solid. No one jumped out as, again, the one playing Kojiro, Saori Hayami. Well, actually, I know that name. I've heard her in a bunch of things. She clearly sounded female, very, very clearly. And then, of course, Yoshino was Inori Minase. She definitely had that monotone vocalization for the most part. But again, it worked. I think overall, I didn't have any issues with the voice acting.
I mean, in English, I'm trying to go over to if there's any. Well, I mean, some of these are more notable. So I mean, we do have Caitlin Glass in here being the class rep as one.
Okay.
I don't know with Ryan Reynolds, but I have to look them up. The only reason I say I have to look them up is, okay, it is I think an actress that plays these roles, but she has a very deep, voice.
That's how they have it listed on ANN, yeah.
I think that the friend being played by a male voice actor in the dub was fine for me.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a difficult role. I do recognize that voice for I'm trying to find him here. Monica Rial was Kawhi in the English dub. Where the hell is... There he is. Shuri. Justin Brenner played Kojiro.
Mm-hmm.
And he tends to play more... He plays Deku. And it's very much Deku's voice. It's the whiny little kind, and it works for the character. It's not, it's not unmasculine, but it fits the role. And most of the cast, I mean, it's a very small cast for both seasons.
It doesn't strike me as a Deku-ish character, but I could see how maybe it could work.
Well, he wants to be manly.
Well, yeah.
He gets it, but he gets that, I gotta bring him sort of nature. That in between preteen voice change nature.
Yeah. I thought that they did a really good job with their intonation when it came to the role. And like I said, none of the characters to me stood out as a poor English dub. Which, I mean, when I watch it in Japanese, if you ask me how well were the characters portrayed, it's like, I guess excellent. I couldn't tell you. But
I am curious because we have, well, actually, I guess that's England English. Because we have two, Aki has two English voice actresses.
That's kind of funny.
And I'm like, she didn't change in season 2. I think it was the same actress.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't notice a change if it did.
So, yeah, I think maybe in England they had a different actress.
ANN lists Morgan Garrett as the...
she's the one I recognize as Morgan Garrett. But then I also have Alexis Tipton.
Well, Anon says that's for the young Aki.
For young Aki. Okay.
Yeah.
That explains it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Well, I guess Jesse James Grell, who did Masame, probably did his child voice as well, which makes sense because you kind of don't think he did it. I don't know why he did.
Yeah.
So, voice acting was good. Overall, I think it would have been just a mediocre series if it weren't for the writing of the series. To which it brings up the good in my nature. I'm not going to say it's like some uneventful, amazing series. It's no Vinland Saga for me, which I put high praise on that series. Maybe we'll get to that at one time, but that requires some time. But overall, last words, I guess, and favorite scenes.
Okay.
I have a favorite character, which is Yoshino, which is kind of
Yeah, we can all go by favorite character. Well,
his favorite scene from season 1. I kind of liked how Masamune actually did. Actually, no, the haunted house thing. I have to admit that was funny because season 1 was more of a lighthearted, funny with some minor, with occasional heavy episodes, but whereas it's kind of the opposite with season 2. So yeah, I'll go with that.
Jacob.
Well, yeah. Again, my favorite character is definitely going to be Koei. I think there's a couple others I liked, but she was definitely my favorite. Favorite scenes. I think probably I'm going to have to say as well that the haunted house scene is one of them. The scene of the secretary going around his ghost face trying to scare everyone, but then Yoshino shows up with the chainsaw and scares the living crap out of her, just amuses me. But also the scene of at the karaoke where they get the call at the front desk and you see her on the phone clawing at the wall, please send help, and everyone's passed out on the floor while Masamune's quote unquote singing. I thought that was very amusing too. And I guess I'll probably go with those for now, I think.
My favorites, I'm going to be the outlier here. I'm going to say Neko for the first season. I do feel she has the most of her plot line is in the first season, I know. But I do something about me likes the concept of a bad liar.
Mm-hmm.
And that they just continue to exaggerate their story a little bit. I do kind of like that kind of concept with this character, at least. Favorite scene, honestly, it would be when Neko first appears. I mean, you have Aki and Masamune just coming off their date, and she runs them over.
Right.
And I'm like, great. That's a way to introduce a character.
Well, like, he gets a chance to look heroic by basically saving her from being run over.
Yeah.
And it's deflated immediately by this woman showing up.
So, I mean, I like it. I mean, I figure that's a great way for a love triangle, but I do know later. No, she does say it. I think she does say it in the first season. She says why she went to him.
She
in
does
the car.
tell him. She does tell him something while she's in the hospital, and that's actually an interesting thing. She talks about being caught in a lie and tells him essentially that he's about to have the same thing happen. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she tells him that she just saw him as the first guy, and that was it. And that was her
Right.
second lie. So
Right.
I mean, because we do after that is when we find out about the picture that she has.
That it was random.
Yeah. That it wasn't. Well, no, it wasn't as random as we think.
That's what she tells him.
Yeah, she tells him it was random, and it's not. So I mean, that's one of the scenes I kind of like, because it's a nice build up of introducing a character, and it's always hard to kind of do that and be unique. And I do feel that's a very unique way of doing it. So yeah, I mean, overall, it's an okay series for if we're just going on season 1. Season 2, I can say it gets better. At least resolves things. Let's put it that way. And doing my research literally while we were chatting, I looked up and people are saying, when's season 3? It's like, no, the story's over. Story is complete.
I mean, it's kind of hard to go off of that. I guess you could like throw chaos into the mix and do that, but
well, they finished the story for Fushigi Yugi, and then they threw in Ekoden.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Yeah, but at least Fushigi Yugi had a concept of where it was it could continue.
One of these
something
days
there that it could continue. This series, you'll see this series kind of ends it. Okay. It settles things.
Okay.
Yeah. It's sort of like how Wagneria actually does a good job at season 3. It would be like continuing that after season 3.
Which one?
Because Working.
Right.
I call it Wagneria because it's what they have on this. But that one at season 3 tied up all the loose ends. So when they came back for a new series, it was a new group of people and so on, which that's the only way I could really see it. Well, no, I could see them coming back, throwing another wrench into things. There was another series called, Kimi ni Todoke did that crap. It seemingly was doing well, but then they decided, you know what, we're going to take all the progress they made and we're going to erase everything and put us right back to square one again.
Yeah.
Just so we can extend it. Now they could do that.
Yeah. I mean, we shall see, and I do feel. I mean, this is a good call out at the end, but definitely those that are watching afterwards, you get to see how well Jacob guessed.
So, well, I guess that's it. Of course, at the end of all this, of course, if you're watching on this channel, you can check out. I did a pickup video, largely as a Chris Seaver video, as far as his works. Stuff that Jacob probably would be like, eh. So I'm like, that's good. I can just throw those in there. And tomorrow we continue our Europe travel series with day 8, where we are doing a river cruise in Paris, which is kind of cool. But that's what you get to look forward to this week. And next week on Inside Movies Galore is going to be Sharknado 5. Very different from our Godfather stuff, which you should check out.
Very different.
What? You mean the sharks aren't doing deals to destroy families?
Am I leaving anything?
I'm confused.
Am I leaving out anything, Jacob?
No, sounds about right.
So, Brittany, what's going on for you?
Well, tomorrow night I will be continuing anime discussion of sorts. While we do Triple Draw, we kind of delayed it for 2 nights due to health reasons, but we're going to come back with talking about YouTuber anime, as we're going to have a few examples of what is to come, including Mr. Beast's anime, if you haven't heard about it. Additionally, we're doing Hogwarts Legacy, trying to play through to the end of that, and also continuing our Stardew Valley massive modded playthrough, and trying to find all the hidden secrets people put in that game and that concept. So, yeah. Other than that, comics as usual. Demon Blade and Witchin are back on, and I'm about to drop Magical Princess War for people that tune into the DeviantArt page literally in a few minutes.
Something I keep up with.
So
well, thank you all for tuning in. For those of you who are watching or will watch, and our goal is to try and get season 2 done and discussed on the 20th of August. If not, we will hiatus it until Wednesday, the 10th of September. So we'll see how well things go. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
SeptumSin versus the world. It's that place for all the boys and girls. You'll feel real safe, you'll feel real warm. It's a cozy place to ride out the storm. SeptumSin! SeptumSin and his best boy Jake see the trends that scare us every day. Physical media is going to the side. Doctor streaming,